So we talked about Indiana Jones. We talked a little bit about Sound of Freedom. Let's talk about Ben and Jerry's. Does that feel weird to me? It's not pop culture, but it is pop culture because it was the 4th of July. And what I do over the 4th of July is I watch Independence Day, and I think about how great America was. We use the phrase, we used to be a country, a lot here. That's a very common term. Whenever you look at the divide in society, you look at something that was awesome in the 90s, and you're like, we used to be a country. Well, you can't even have that anymore. So this says...
Ben and Jerry's is here to remind us that this land is not our land, and we live on stolen land. On Twitter, they posted this. This 4th of July, it's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it.
Nothing's fun
anymore. Learn more and
take
action now.
You can't have fun anymore.
Everybody's
And then they posted this
land.
graphic that said the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land. This 4th of July, let's commit to returning it. I don't understand what this has to do with ice cream, but thank you for your input.
And what does that mean, return it? What are they?
And
are we gonna
vague.
boycott Ben and Jerry's next? Because I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for that.
do you have a favorite flavor?
I think brownie batter core is really good.
Yeah.
But just any ice cream that's just loaded with chewy weird stuff in it.
Yeah.
I used to be a huge fan
That's
of
my
cookie
favorite.
dough, chocolate chip cookie dough.
I was chocolate chip cookie
Yeah.
dough.
So much
so
sugar.
Ben and Jerry's is one of my favorite brands, and I don't know if I'm ready to Bud Light it. That's what I'm saying.
What was that ice cream company that would always make the ads? It looked like the highest end thing. It was like a silver platter scoop that they would use to cut it, and then serves like Bream, Bray.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Dove bars?
No, it was higher end even sounding than that. You know what I'm talking
Sure.
about.
But I also like Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Dough.
Oh.
Horrible.
I didn't know he got his own ice cream.
Just
I know.
horrible.
It's terrible. I hate him, but I love the ice cream.
Tonight dough.
But yeah, like I can't get down with it, and it shows how divided we are as a country, because there was a time when you got together and you watched Will Smith beat up an alien, and that's what you
Independence
did.
Day.
Independence Day.
Great movie.
It's a masterpiece.
When he punched that alien in the face, that guy in a costume even, it wasn't a cartoon. I loved
feel
it.
like we've really lost a love for rock and roll in this country. Like in the 2000s, that was like considered the most popular genre, I bet, and then it was replaced in the 2010s with pop and rap music, especially at like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's just like a part of American culture that's really been denigrated for no reason. Like Nickelback was apparently, I didn't know this, but Nickelback was the highest selling artist.
They're not American.
They're Canadian.
They're Canadian.
Well, it was the highest selling artist in America.
Yeah.
American
throughout
to
the
me.
2000s.
North American.
And then all of a sudden we were just supposed to accept that we hated it all along.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Nickelback's amazing. How You Remind Me is an incredible song. Incredible song. And it was electronic music when they started recording not together. Like when it's four guys or girls play in a room, practicing together, singing together, and making vocal harmonies together. It forms community. And that's what's missing in music. Now it's got a dude in a studio with an electronic audio from another studio, a guy. I just spilled a little bit of kombucha, and I'll go wipe that up. And so it sounds sterilized. I think because it is sterilized.
Yeah.
It's like auto tune, so they don't hit the wrong note. But sometimes the wrong note turns out to be the right note. It creates a new chord that people thought was crap before.
The whole music industry just kind of like blackballed the genre of rock in general.
all
Stopped
silly stuff.
funding it. The record labels stopped backing it.
MGK
had to fund his own punk rock album.
Really?
Yeah, because they were like, we'll back anything. His record label said like, we'll back anything that you do in rap or hip hop.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do this. He funded it himself, and then once it turned out to be popular, they were like, okay, we'll produce this now.
Who are you talking about?
MGK.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like
Machine Gun
there's a whole genre. I mean, I wish Carter was up here to talk about this too, because like there's the whole thing of like the emo revival, where
Yeah.
people want to do the emo revival, right?
And it's not all hitting the same way it did in the 2000s.
No, it
I
doesn't.
appreciate the effort.
There was like, okay, so there was also a video where they showed the dudes from not Creed, Creed, when they did the Super Bowl halftime show, right?
Yeah.
And they show it and they say you're homesick for a country that no longer exists.
It's true.
It really is. It's like
Just look at all of these hot women.
I was like, it's like Scott Stapp singing while like really hot Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders
Yeah.
are behind them, and you're like,
What happened to us?
we used to be a country.
I
Right?
don't. What year was that?
Oh, it had to be 2000 or something.
Yeah,
like
like
that.
I don't have living memory of that, but just looking back at it, it's like it barely even existed.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
In a
Like
way,
part of our mythology
it
as
was
a
like
nation now.
we were pulled together and manipulated to be part of a war machine, and that was the country. It was like, we're so great, we're so great, we're number one, we're America, but like, yeah, kind of, but we're also in Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya and Bosnia
Like,
and Syria.
Eventually,
Took a lot of
the internet
people's
did that.
Good faith in the country and
Yeah,
Bad Kitty
they-
Mama says I'll go see Depeche Mode. I'm with her on that. Depeche Mode's great.
Mode.
But you're right. Like the internet created a culture where it's like you were more aware of like the faults of your nation than you were in the past. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a place for patriotism amongst the citizens.
'Cause it's-
so
right.
screw you, Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
It's not a worse country. We're just more aware of what it's always been, in my opinion. There are outside influences on it now that weren't here before because of the internet. And you know, about being on stolen land, everybody's living on stolen land right now. The British are living on Celtic land. Those, when the French invaded the island and took it from the natives and killed Boudica and all those, the Romans murdered everybody and then they colonized. Like, okay, Ben and Jerry's talk about Britain.
But
talk about the
it's
British.
only bad when it happens to people with brown skin.
The Mongols
so.
annihilated almost all of Asia and colonized all of Asia. Like
Literally, the entire world is colonized at this point.
Fear Me It's Bree says, sorry, Brett, you can't have hot cheerleaders anymore. They have to be diverse and body
And
positive,
it's
inclusive.
not just that, but like also, why does every Super Bowl halftime show have to have some weird like satanic imagery in it?
Yeah, I mean, Elijah Schaefer talked about this for a long time on his show, uncensored. It's because he's not monetized, so he's
Yeah.
like, say whatever you want, dude. It was awesome. Because like what happens is, I think when people get into polygamy, and a lot of these sex cults, they're like polygamy stuff. They then they have like an internalized guilt. So then they start looking outward to try and think of other things and mask what they're actually doing because there's
There
something
are
they're doing is amoral.
Polygamous sex cults in Hollywood.
So they turn it into like
We're gonna be
Satanist
talking about that later.
stuff.
I mean, it's true,
Yeah.
but when you say it, it just sounds crazy.
Yep.
it is.
But I know you're right.
And then their guilt drives them to like distract themselves with things like Satanism and
Mm.
crap like that, or like magic and all this junk that like try not to think about what they're
I
actually
just
doing.
it bums me out because I really do feel like maybe the 4th of July is the time. It was when I first noticed the culture devolving here, where like
I think
20.
it was Thanksgiving too.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
This
Okay. So
recent one?
so
Yeah,
thank
people
no
have,
no
like,
no no
putting
no
out
like,
weird think pieces about how you need to confront your racist Trump supporting uncle at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, but it's just like but even before that, to me, it was like you'd say like Happy 4th of July, I'd be like, what's so happy about it? Like people like that was when I first started noticing like the pushback on social media where you weren't even allowed to have, because let's face it, okay, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's 4th of July, yeah, to a lot of them you might be celebrating the holiday, but to a good fair few of them, it's just a reason to get together with family, friends, and loved ones and spend some time together. And it's like there's these people that their whole goal in life is to make everybody else miserable, who are like, don't mind me. I'm just here to ruin your good time. I'm here to ruin your positive, your positive vibes. And there was,
of,
it was why Facebook was so awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to have nice things anymore, including the Cinnamon mascot of the Apple Jacks cereal.
I forgot about that. Yes. Okay.
I wanted to talk about this, and it's literally not new. This happened years ago that Apple Jacks like scrubbed all evidence of their Rastafarian mascot, who was a cinnamon stick. But I just found this article on Medium called Apple Jacks Needs to Stop from 2016 and lost my mind over it. I'm pretty sure it's satire, but let me just read some.
That's the best part. Is the best satire is when you don't know whether it is or not.
As an average white guy, I consider it my duty to be extra aware of corporate wrongdoing. I'm benefiting every day from an unfathomably pervasive power structure designed and run by people like me. And that puts me in a unique position to criticize their unscrupulous behavior without fear of being smirked at. So he was gobsmacked seeing that the cool Jamaican cinnamon stick that everyone remembers from their childhood was still on the Applejack
We got a
cereal
$20.
box.
We got a $20 super chat from Greg Cox. Says Ian with the 20s today. Rolling 20s
Yeah.
today, my
There
friend.
we go.
Rolling 20s.
yeah.
Oh, we got a $20 super chat here from Spaghetti Warrior 66. Says, congratulations on 400. I support any Crisis Party initiative that will make Brett blonde again.
Yes.
Mary, I enjoyed
How many do we need?
Mary, I enjoyed your talk with Chrissy Mayer very much and was excited you watched our video on it. Great job on the pod.
Just give us a number.
Dude, I'm not going blonde.
What was that like going blonde?
I had more fun.
How
It is
about
true.
30?
That would be a lot. I mean, but it would see. There's the possibility of shenanigans today because
Okay,
what is
we'll
our,
just we'll when we get to 34, then it'll be.
yeah.
Okay, you'll do it? Okay. It's set.
No.
It's done.
Do I wait? No, because my hair is different now. Do I keep the sides dark?
You can do that.
Can you do that?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to have to go. I have to go to the
bleach the top.
Fine, 30.
Okay. The whole Cinnamon is the Winnemon ad campaign at this point feels like something out of the 1950s. Using racist stereotypes to big up your cereal is not okay. And definitely not okay when you're painting the Rasta caricature as an amoral miscreant. The cinnamon stick is depicted as a rascal without a cause, a terminally casual zombie who is laid back to the point of nihilism. What are his aspirations, his interests, beyond surfing and skateboarding? We will likely never know.
This is why our culture is where it is right now. We have it so good that these articles can be written.
He said, I've heard it argued that the Apple Jacks campaign is in fact a subversive commentary on white colonialism. The apple represents the white male carpetbagger, while the cinnamon stick represents the untamable creative on the margins, whose raw originality can never be co-opted. As nice as that sounds, I do not believe it reflects the reality of the Apple Jacks campaign. Were Apple Jacks attempting to make a serious socio-political statement, they would have taken greater pains to make the cinnamon stick a multi-dimensional character, a citizen, a father, a lover, etc.
This is the problem. There are people who read this and actually get something substantive out of it when that's not what a character created for a cereal brand is meant for.
Yeah, someone's like, so you want cinnamon porn? Is that what you're looking for? I want to see his family.
Clip that, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
pretty
So yeah, like between
And then
that,
the comments are like, it's a fucking cereal, dumbass.
well, yes, that's the problem, right? Like we now like there's the argument to be made. Like, look, they got rid of Aunt Jemima because of racism. But was that really necessary? Are you really tackling anything? They got rid of Land O'Lakes, on the cover of Land O'Lakes, which is like that was
We
big.
can't have anything nice in this country anymore.
And eventually, it will just the only things that will be allowed will be white characters because those are the only ones that can't be considered as if they're being used for the benefit of another higher ranking social group. Therefore, they end up being the oppressors again by default.
Did Uncle Ben get scrubbed as well?
I still see Uncle Ben, I think.
Okay.
I think I still see Uncle Ben. So, yeah. So, yes, I'm sorry, but we really did used to be a country, and it just annoys me on the holidays to see such discontent over something like the 4th of July.
Last 4th of July, we did a whole episode talking about like the celebrities that are talking about the 4th of July, trying to take all the fun out of it. But this year it wasn't as loud.
No, and I have, and that's the thing, like you have to have a couple of brain cells, but you can be critical of your government while loving your country. It is
That's the
possible.
whole point of 1776 is being critical of the government.
Exactly.
Is it not?
And that's
So-
a big part of like the Iraq, Afghanistan invasions, which soured me to the American government and the United States as a whole. But then I realized like, the Constitution's legit. Just because people have turned this country into a warmongering state doesn't mean that that's the essence of the United States. It's not.
I think the essence of the United States now is that on the 4th of July, you can get a gallon of gas for 1776 sheets.
There you
There
go.
were lines going down the road
Yeah.
at every Sheets. I was not able to get gas.
And
that
even
day.
then, I saw people complaining about it. They're like, I love watching people spend this much gas to save this. Like, nobody's allowed to just have fun anymore. Everybody's got to be cynical all the time.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I don't like cynicism. I get annoyed with the heavy cynicism.
Don't you see that you're being cynical right now by
Yes,
saying
I'm
that?
being-
So you become
I'm a
the devil that
hypocrite.
you're complaining about.
I'm a
Be
hypocrite
careful.
right
Yeah.
now. I'm
What
a
did you
hypocrite.
guys do on the 4th of July?
I skated all day, and then like what we did is like
Fireworks?
the whole reason that I go back is because we do a thing where we go to a skate park that's right over in Shakopee, Minnesota, and Shakopee, Minnesota is surrounded by a bunch of these venues, which is a casino called Mille Lacs. Valley Fair, and then Canterbury Downs all have their own fireworks show, and they're all right in the same area. So the whole area is awash with fireworks for like hours.
Where? What state? What city?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
So like the whole point is we go back and we light up that skate park at night and then skate while the fireworks are going. Have you ever seen The Sandlot?
Yeah.
Where this,
No.
in The Sandlot, there's the scene where
should.
the only I reposted on the 4th of July where like the only time they can ever play a night game is during the 4th of July because the fireworks are going off. It's in the same vein as that. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.